Well, we're here this morning to do the concrete pad for our shop, and it's a little bit chilly. We're at 53 degrees, potential of about 60% chance of rain first thing this morning. I'm hoping not, but if so, we'll just work through it. And they definitely say that concrete is a team sport, so I've enlisted the help of a couple of friends, and Colleen and I are all going to get to it this morning. So hopefully this will go as planned. I know concrete makes me extremely nervous, only because, unlike the rest of construction, if you screw up and it hardens up, it's going to take a lot to fix it, usually meaning tearing it out, and I really don't want to do that. So keep your fingers crossed as we pour cement today.
How many yards on the truck?
One thing that has always been a problem in my life is the ability to ask for help. This is also true of my seeming inability to accept help when it is needed or is offered to me. The reason is because in the past I have let my ego and or fear get in my way. Asking for help should be pretty simple, but for some reason, it's something a lot of people struggle with, and it often comes from a place of fear. So what stops us from seeking the help we need? As with so many things that would serve us or others, our fear is what gets in the way. Fear of overstepping a friendship, fear of appearing too needy, fear of imposing, or fear of revealing our struggle and having people realize we don't have it all together after all. For me, it's always been about feeling less confident in my abilities and my worry about what others think of me. People are hardwired to want to do things on their own and be independent-minded. So asking for help often makes people feel uneasy because it requires surrendering control to someone else. We don't want to be ashamed of our situation or come across as incompetent. As a result, we also miss out on a lot of potential knowledge or help. If only we were able to see past all that self-imposed negativity, or at least learn how to manage such situations in a more competent manner. Understanding the best way to ask for help and when to ask for it is increasingly important as the value placed on networking and building connections continues to grow. Not all of us are street performers, but we all have hundreds of opportunities to practice asking for help every day. And with practice, you'll get used to asking for help. And so it went with the pouring of the slab for the shop. I knew that Colleen and I on our own were not able to do this by ourselves, and it would require help. It came down to putting my ego aside and asking two friends if they had time to help me with the concrete, and as it turned out, they were glad to help. It certainly wouldn't have been possible without them there, and for that I'm eternally grateful. But this also leads me to why it's important to be part of your community. So often I have to ask whether America is any longer a nation of communities, or instead a nation of disconnected individuals longing for community. Turn on the news or log into Instagram, and something feels like no one likes each other at all. Arguments, heated discussions, and misunderstandings clog up our news feeds and take a hell of a lot of energy. And what do we lose when this happens? For starters, the art of nuance, and secondly, our ability to see the world as it really is. When this happens, we can only lose compassion for others too. As I mentioned, it can feel like everyone's at each other's throats, but in reality, there are powerful communities everywhere that build people up, not knock them down. This doesn't mean that you surround yourself with people that think and do exactly the same as you, but it's about common bonds of respect and mutual cooperation that allow us to flourish around different people. If we don't have community, then what do we have? Finding a community isn't always a big fanfare of acceptance. It's a slow, gradual thing that sometimes you're not even aware you stumbled onto. Community is something that is nurtured and fostered. You won't feel like you belong straight away, but you'll know it when you do.
We're trying to take out as much of the heavy lines as we can.
A community can feel like a massive concept, and of course, in some sense it is. We're part of geographical communities in our towns, cities, and country. What does it take to be part of a community? Well, this is a big one. You can bulldoze your way into any community you like, but being a valued member that contributes positively isn't a guarantee. What I found is we have more in common than that which divides us, but that doesn't mean that people have given up on being douchebags. When people don't stick to common rules of decency, it can affect an entire community. While I'm doing my best to slowly integrate into my community here in Montana and with other homesteaders, there's also a burning desire to have something more intimate as it relates to my community. So my journey has been to create my own community within the community I currently live. One that is made up of like-minded individuals that share a passion for do-it-yourself, homesteading, ranching, and farming. And I have learned a great deal along the way. So if you want to create your own community based around an interest, then you have to have something worthwhile to gather around. I found that people will be more enthused to join if it's something energetic and positive rather than stale and boring. Using a community to boost social belongings and networking means you need to position a community in a way so it delivers on these things and makes people feel accepted as they belong.
Well, we settled up in our hobo shanty here, waiting for our next round of concrete work, which is kind of nice to take a break. That was a rough start to this morning, but it came out pretty good so far, and we'll just keep playing along and see how the concrete turns out.
Yep.
You gonna make it?
No. It's a tall man's world. You can't do construction or concrete when you're short. It just sucks.
That's the fact.
It's just too much of a battle.
You got the bottom on? All right.
Oh boy, that's heavy.
Can you climb up?
When it functions properly, a community can be a really powerful way for people to feel accepted and validated. I think communities act as a great social blanket and allow people to meet others they might never have met otherwise and hear alternative viewpoints and learn from that. Heck, I've met lots of great friends in places I would never have expected, and my life's all the better for it. No matter how big or small, a community can have a positive impact on your life, just as asking for help does the same thing.
Well, there you have it. The shop pad has been poured and it is complete, and I'm really happy with it. Altogether, we put in about 21 yards of cement. Somehow, even after doing it twice, I managed to come up about 3 yards short, and so I had to call in another truck right at the end, but managed to work that pretty well and get that sorted out. The concrete itself, you probably noticed that there's no rebar in it. I used fiber mesh to reinforce the concrete, and used a 6-sack mix on it. So at 4.5 inches thick, it should be pretty durable. Overall, again, it worked out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it, considering some of the other cement issues that we've faced in this process. And anyway, so now the next step is going to be ordering the lumber package and getting ready to actually start building the shop. That's the next stage and evolution of this. I'll definitely give this about a week to fully cure and dry before we start doing anything with it, but I'll come out and take the forms off and let it breathe. Anyway, if you like this sort of thing, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps. And I want to say a big thank you to all the people that have subscribed to the channel so far. I'm very pleased and very happy with that. Although we don't have a very big following, it's really cool to have the following that we have and to have the engagement. So please remember to like and comment. It really does help, and I enjoy interacting with everyone. Until next time, we'll see you later.